Yo, what up? Ever feel like your brain is a browser with 300 tabs open, all playing different vaguely annoying songs? Or maybe you're just trying to get through the day without spontaneously combusting from stress. Yeah, me too.
For a long time, my inner peace looked a lot like a stressed-out squirrel trying to organize its nuts during a hurricane. Then I stumbled onto something ancient, something profound, and honestly, something surprisingly chill. Stoicism. And no, it's not about being a robot who never smiles or a grumpy old philosopher muttering about destiny. Think less ancient dusty scroll and more life hack for your brain. Today, we're diving headfirst into the wisdom of the Stoics, specifically guided by William B. Irvine's absolute gem of a book, A Guide to the Good Life. This isn't your grandma's philosophy class, folks. This is about real-world, rubber-meets-the-road strategies to tame that inner chaos, build some serious mental muscle, and actually genuinely enjoy this wild ride called life. So, grab a comfy seat, maybe a cup of your favorite calming beverage. Mine's coffee, ironically, for a video about peace. And let's unravel the secrets to living a truly good life, Stoic style. What is Stoicism, and why does it matter today? Alright, so let's set the scene. Look around. What do you see? A world that's moving at warp speed, right? Information overload, constant demands, economic anxieties, social media pressures. It's enough to make even the most Zen guru want to scream into a pillow. We're bombarded with messages telling us to do more, have more, be more, and yet somehow, many of us feel like we're perpetually falling short, constantly stressed, and a little bit lost. Our mental health stats aren't exactly looking sunny, are they? Anxiety, depression, burnout. They're practically household names these days. This is where Stoicism waltzes in, not with a magic wand, but with a toolkit. And trust me, it's a toolkit we desperately need. When I first heard Stoicism, I pictured some stern-faced ancient Greek dude in a toga, giving a lecture about enduring pain without flinching. And while a tiny part of that is true, it's about so much more. It's about finding inner peace, not by escaping the world, but by learning how to engage with it mindfully. It's about building resilience, not just surviving challenges, but actually thriving through them. It's about being the captain of your own ship, even when the waves are crashing. William B. Irvine, in A Guide to the Good Life, does an incredible job of dusting off these ancient teachings and making them incredibly relatable for us modern folks. He doesn't just tell you what Stoicism is, he shows you how to use it. Think of him as your friendly, knowledgeable tour guide through the intellectual gym that is Stoic philosophy. So, why does Stoicism matter today, specifically? Well, for one, it offers an antidote to the endless pursuit of external validation and fleeting pleasures. Our consumer-driven society pretty much yells at us to chase after the next big thing, the newest gadget, the fanciest vacation, the perfect body. And then, once we get it, that little dopamine hit wears off, and we're back to square one, feeling empty and craving the next fix. Stoicism says, hold up, buttercup. What if true happiness isn't out there, but it's all in your head instead? It's about building an internal fortress of calm in a world that's constantly trying to knock you off balance. Imagine a world where a grumpy email from your boss doesn't send you spiraling for the rest of the day. A world where a traffic jam isn't a reason to rage, but an opportunity for quiet reflection. A world where you can face unexpected challenges, big or small, with a steady hand and a clear mind. Sounds pretty good, right? That's the promise of Stoicism, not as a quick fix, but as a lifelong practice. It's about taking back control of your own mental real estate. Because let's be honest, sometimes our own minds feel like hostile takeovers, right? That nagging voice of self-doubt. the endless loop of what-ifs, the constant replaying of past mistakes. Stoicism gives you the tools to become the bouncer at the club of your mind, deciding who gets in and who gets kicked to the curb. And another thing, in an era of constant comparison, especially thanks to social media, Stoicism is like a cool splash of water on a hot day. It reminds us that our value isn't tied to how many likes we get, how much money we make, or how perfect our Instagram feed looks. It's about who we are as people, our character, and how we choose to respond to the world around us. So, if you're ready to ditch the endless treadmill of external chasing and start building a truly resilient, joyful, and meaningful life from the inside out, then you've come to the right place. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. The core principles of Stoicism. All right, buckle up, because we're about to dive into the bedrock of Stoic philosophy. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're the foundational planks of a life well lived. And the beauty of them is their simplicity, even if putting them into practice takes a bit of effort. Irvine really breaks these down, making them accessible even if you've never picked up a philosophy book in your life. So, the first big one, and it's a doozy. Virtue is the only good. Now, when you hear virtue, your brain might immediately go to Sunday school or some old-timey moralizing. But for the Stoics, it's way more practical than that. They believed that true happiness, what they called eudaimonia, which is like a deep, flourishing contentment, not just fleeting pleasure, comes from cultivating virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Think about it. We often chase after external stuff, right? More money, a bigger house, that fancy car, a promotion, winning the lottery. And sure, those things might give us a momentary buzz. But how long does that buzz last? Usually, not long enough. And what happens when those things are taken away? When the money runs out, the car breaks down, or the promotion goes to someone else? We're left feeling, well, pretty miserable. The Stoics flipped this on its head. They said, hey, all that external stuff? It's preferred indifference. Meaning, yeah, it's nice to have, but it doesn't determine your happiness. What truly matters, what is good and solely good, is your character. It's about who you are and how you act. Let's break down those virtues. Wisdom. This isn't just about being smart in a bookish way. It's practical wisdom, the ability to make good judgments, to understand what's truly important, and to navigate life's complexities with clear insight. It's knowing the difference between what you can control and what you can't. More on that in a sec. Justice. This isn't just about legal systems. It's about treating others fairly, with kindness, and contributing to the well-being of your community. It's recognizing that we're all interconnected, and that our actions have an impact beyond ourselves. Courage. This isn't just about being a superhero. It's moral courage. The strength to do what's right even when it's difficult or unpopular. It's facing your fears, stepping outside your comfort zone, and standing up for your values. Temperance, or moderation. This is about self-control, balance, and knowing when enough is enough. It's about not letting your desires or impulses rule you. Think of it as the ultimate willpower workout, but for your soul. So, if you dedicate yourself to becoming wiser, more just, courageous, and temperate, you're building an internal reservoir of goodness that no external force can touch. Your happiness isn't dependent on your stock portfolio or your latest social media post. It's rooted in your character. And that, my friends, is a pretty unshakable foundation. As Irvine emphasizes, this isn't about being perfect. It's about the effort to cultivate these virtues. It's the journey, not just the destination. Next up, a big one for our constantly buzzing brains: control your thoughts and emotions. This is where Stoicism really gets down to brass tacks. Have you ever noticed how a perfectly good day can be absolutely ruined by a single thought? Or how one little irritation can spiral into a full-blown emotional meltdown? Yeah, me too. It's like our brains have a mind of their own, constantly throwing curveballs at us. The Stoics were like, hold on a minute. While we can't always control what happens to us, we absolutely can control how we respond to it. This is the core of their thinking. It's not the event itself that upsets us, but our judgment about the event. Think of it this way. Your boss sends you a terse email. Your immediate thought might be, oh no, they hate me. I'm going to get fired. My life is over. And then, boom, a tidal wave of anxiety washes over you. But what if you paused for a second? What if you thought, maybe they're just having a rough day. Or maybe they're busy and just wrote it quickly. It's an email, not a declaration of war. See how the feeling shifts? This isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding them and not letting them run the show. It's about creating a little space between the stimulus and your response. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control, but more on that in a second. For now, understand that your thoughts are powerful. They shape your reality, and you have the power to challenge those thoughts, to reframe them, and to choose how you interpret the world. Irvine talks about how many of our negative emotions stem from faulty judgments. We catastrophize, we make assumptions, we take things personally. And the Stoic antidote is to observe these thoughts, question them, and consciously choose a more rational and beneficial perspective. It's like being a detective for your own mind, looking for evidence to support or refute your initial, often negative interpretations. It's a muscle that gets stronger with practice. The more you catch yourself in a negative thought spiral and consciously reroute, the easier it becomes. It's about building a mental defense system against your own worst instincts. And this brings us to what is arguably the most famous and incredibly liberating Stoic principle. Focus on what you can control. This one is a game changer, folks. Seriously, it's like a mental superpower. In life, there are things we have complete control over. Our thoughts, our actions, our judgments, our reactions. And then there are things we have absolutely no control over. Other people's opinions, the weather, traffic, the past, the future, the global economy, what your pet cat decides to do with your favorite houseplant. We spend so much time and energy fretting about things completely outside our sphere of influence. We worry about what others think of us. We get stressed about things that haven't even happened yet, or things that happened ages ago and can't be changed. We fume about traffic jams. We get bent out of shape because it's raining on our picnic day. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, were huge on this. They hammered home the idea that true tranquility comes from understanding this fundamental distinction and directing our energy accordingly. Why waste your precious mental energy on something you can't change? It's like trying to push a rope, utterly futile and exhausting. Instead, pour your energy into what you can control. You can control how you react to that rude driver. You can control whether you dwell on a past mistake or learn from it and move on. You can control your effort and attitude towards your work, regardless of the outcome. You can control whether you choose to be kind, courageous, or wise in any given situation. Irvine beautifully illustrates this with modern examples. Think about job interviews. You can control your preparation, your attitude, your answers. You cannot control whether you get the job, because that depends on many factors outside of you. Other candidates, the interviewer's mood, the company's budget, etc. If you focus solely on your part, you'll be less anxious and more effective. If you worry about getting the job, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and stress. because that outcome isn't 100% in your hands. This principle isn't about being passive or giving up on external goals. It's about detaching your internal peace from things that are inherently unpredictable. You still strive, you still work hard, you still have ambitions. But your inner equilibrium isn't hijacked by the external world's whims. It's about cultivating an inner calm that isn't dictated by the chaos outside. It's accepting what is, and then acting with integrity and wisdom within your sphere of influence. This one principle, truly embraced, can be the biggest stress reliever you've ever encountered. It's pure, unadulterated mental freedom. Putting Stoic principles into practice. All right, so we've covered the core principles: virtue, controlling our thoughts, and focusing on what's within our control. But knowing something intellectually and actually doing it are two very different things, right? It's like knowing how to ride a bike versus actually hopping on and pedaling. This is where Irvine's practical guide really shines, offering actionable strategies to weave Stoicism into the fabric of your daily life. It's not just theory, it's your new mental workout routine. First up, a classic, and for good reason, journaling and reflection. Now, before you groan and say, "Oh, I'm not a diary person," hear me out. This isn't about cute stickers and secret crushes. This is about being your own mental detective. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, who wrote his Meditations as a personal journal, not for publication, understood the power of putting thoughts on paper. It's like hitting the pause button on the fast-forward chaos of your mind and actually looking at what's going on in there. Here's how Irvine suggests we approach it. Morning preparation. Before the day even kicks off, take a few minutes to think about what challenges you might face, who might irritate you, what difficult tasks are on your plate. Mentally rehearse how you want to respond. This isn't about predicting the future, but about pre-arming yourself with a Stoic mindset. If you anticipate that annoying coworker might get on your nerves, you can decide now that you'll respond with patience, rather than letting their antics hijack your emotions later. It's like putting on your mental armor before you step into battle. Evening review. This is crucial. At the end of the day, sit down and reflect. How did your day go? Did you act in accordance with your values? Did you get upset about something outside your control? Did you respond thoughtfully or impulsively? Where did you fall short? Where did you succeed? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about objective self-assessment. It's how you learn and grow. Think of it as your daily performance review, but you're both the reviewer and the reviewee. Irvine also suggests specific Stoic exercises for journaling. One brilliant one is called negative visualization. Sounds grim, right? But it's actually incredibly powerful. It's about intentionally contemplating the loss of things you currently cherish: your health, your loved ones, your possessions, your job. Not to be morbid, but to appreciate them now. We tend to take things for granted until they're gone. By imagining their absence, we ignite a profound sense of gratitude for their presence. It makes you realize how much you actually have, even on a bad day. This proactive appreciation helps you find joy in the everyday and builds resilience for when real losses inevitably occur. It's like a mental vaccine against complacency and attachment. Another journaling prompt could be, what am I anxious about today? Is it within my control? If not, how can I accept it? If so, what action can I take? This helps you immediately apply the dichotomy of control. Journaling isn't just venting, it's a structured conversation with yourself, designed to bring clarity and strengthen your Stoic muscles. So grab a notebook or open a document on your computer and give it a shot. You might be surprised at what you discover. Next up, practices that have been gaining massive popularity, and for good reason: mindfulness and meditation. While not exclusively Stoic, These practices align perfectly with the Stoic goal of controlling our internal world. The Stoics were essentially practicing mindfulness long before it had a fancy name. What is mindfulness really? It's simply paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations as they arise, without getting tangled up in them. Think of your mind as a river, and your thoughts and emotions are leaves floating by. Mindfulness is standing on the bank, watching the leaves go by, rather than jumping into the river and getting swept away by them. For the Stoics, this was crucial for developing what they called prosoche, or attention. It's about being vigilant, being aware of what's happening in your mind right now. When you're mindful, you create that crucial space between a stimulus and your response. You notice that surge of anger, but instead of immediately lashing out, you can choose to take a breath, examine the feeling, and decide on a more virtuous response. Meditation, in its various forms, is a fantastic tool for cultivating mindfulness. It doesn't have to be hours of sitting cross-legged chanting Om. It can be just 5 to 10 minutes a day, focusing on your breath. Or a walking meditation, where you pay attention to the sensation of your feet on the ground, the sounds around you, the feeling of the air. Irvine points out that this practice helps us detach from our thoughts and emotions. We often identify so strongly with our thoughts. I am angry, I am stressed. But mindfulness teaches us that we have thoughts and emotions. We are not defined by them. They are temporary visitors. This detachment is incredibly liberating. It means a negative thought doesn't have to dictate your mood for the entire day. You can acknowledge it, let it go, and choose to refocus your attention. It's a powerful way to assert your inner sovereignty. Think about it. How often do we go through our days on autopilot, reacting impulsively, lost in thought, or just scrolling mindlessly? Mindfulness is the antidote to that. It brings you back to the here and now, which is the only place life is actually happening. And finally, a practice that can literally rewire your brain for happiness. Developing gratitude. This is where Stoicism really shines a light on the positive. While they were big on preparing for adversity, they were equally big on appreciating what you have right now. Remember that negative visualization we talked about? One of its primary purposes is to foster gratitude. When you imagine losing something, you automatically value it more. It's a powerful psychological trick. We live in a world that constantly tells us what we don't have. The perfect body, the dream job, the bigger house, the latest tech. This constant striving for more keeps us in a state of dissatisfaction. Gratitude flips the script. It says, look around. You already have so much. Irvine suggests making gratitude a conscious practice. It's not just a fleeting feeling. It's a deliberate act. Gratitude journal. Simple but effective. Every day, write down 3 to 5 things you are genuinely grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. It could be the warm cup of coffee, the sun shining, a kind word from a stranger, your comfortable bed, the fact that you have clean water. The more specific, the better. Expressing gratitude. Don't just feel it, express it. Thank someone who helped you. Tell a loved one how much you appreciate them. Acknowledge the good things happening around you. This not only boosts your mood, but also strengthens your connections with others. The reversal of fortune exercise. This ties into negative visualization. Think about a minor inconvenience you're experiencing, e.g., your internet is slow. Now, imagine how much worse it could be, e.g., no internet at all, or a complete power outage. Suddenly, slow internet doesn't seem so bad, does it? This helps put things into perspective and fosters appreciation for what you do have. By actively cultivating gratitude, You shift your focus from lack to abundance. You train your brain to notice the good, rather than constantly scanning for the bad. It's like equipping yourself with a mental filter that highlights the positives in your life. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but it means approaching them from a place of overall contentment rather than a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. It's a simple, yet profound, way to inject more joy and optimism into your daily existence. And who couldn't use a little more of that? Stoicism and modern life. Okay, so we've got the principles, we've got the practices. Now, let's tie it all together and see how this ancient wisdom can absolutely transform your experience of modern life. Because let's face it, the world isn't getting any less crazy. But we can get better at navigating it. Stoicism isn't just for philosophers. It's for anyone who wants to live with more grace, more strength, and more meaning in a world that often feels designed to strip us of all three. This is probably the biggest selling point for many people these days, and for good reason. Stoicism provides a robust framework for managing stress and anxiety. Think of stress and anxiety as two mischievous goblins that love to set up shop in your brain. They thrive on uncertainty, fear, and feeling out of control. And what's the Stoic superpower? The dichotomy of control. When anxiety hits, what's the first thing your Stoic brain should do? Ask, is this within my control or outside my control? If it's outside your control, acknowledge it, accept it, and then let it go. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're choosing not to suffer over something you can't change. The news cycle, your unpredictable boss, the economy, what someone said about you behind your back. These are all largely outside your control. Fuming about them is like trying to change the tides with a spoon. It's exhausting and pointless. Instead, practice acceptance. Remind yourself, this is happening. I cannot change it. I can only control my reaction. If it's within your control, great. Now you have a clear path forward. Instead of ruminating or panicking, focus on what actionable steps you can take. Is it a difficult conversation you need to have? Plan it out. Visualize a calm discussion. Is it a looming deadline? Break it down into smaller, manageable tasks. The very act of taking control, of acting with intention, can significantly reduce anxiety. Irvine also emphasizes the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. Again, sounds gloomy, but it's incredibly effective for stress reduction. It's about imagining worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on them, but to realize that you could likely cope with them. For example, if you're worried about losing your job, instead of just spiraling, mentally walk through what you would actually do. Update your resume, start networking, explore new opportunities. You realize that even if the worst happens, you have resources, resilience, and options. This strips the fear of the unknown of its power. It's like stress testing your emotional preparedness. When you've already mentally walked through the fire, the real heat feels less intense. By constantly applying the dichotomy of control and practicing these mental exercises, you build a mental firewall against the constant barrage of stress and anxiety. You become less reactive and more responsive, transforming potential panic into purposeful action or peaceful acceptance. Life punches all of us in the face eventually, right? Loss, illness, setbacks, disappointments. The Stoics didn't pretend these things wouldn't happen. In fact, they prepared for them. And that's exactly why Stoicism is a powerhouse for building resilience in difficult times. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain. It's about how you bounce back. It's about your capacity to adapt, to keep moving forward, even when the chips are down. And the Stoics believed this resilience comes from within. Think about a strong oak tree. It doesn't avoid the storm. It flexes and bends with it. Its roots run deep, making it unshakable. Stoicism helps you grow those deep roots. The inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of building an inner citadel, a fortress of peace and rationality within yourself that external events cannot breach. This isn't about being emotionally numb. It's about not letting external chaos dictate your internal state. Your inner worth and peace are derived from your character, not from favorable circumstances. When everything around you is crumbling, you can still maintain your integrity, your wisdom, and your inner calm. Adversity as opportunity. This is a tough one, but incredibly powerful. Stoics viewed adversity not as a punishment, but as an opportunity to practice virtue. Lost your job? An opportunity for courage and creativity. Dealing with a difficult person? An opportunity for patience and justice. Each challenge becomes a chance to strengthen your character, to prove your mettle, and to grow. It's not about being happy about the hardship, but about finding meaning in it and using it to forge a stronger self. Embracing impermanence. Everything changes. Everything passes. This can be a source of anxiety, but for the Stoics, it was a profound truth that led to peace. Understanding that all things are transient, both good and bad, helps us to hold on to pleasures lightly and to endure hardships knowing they, too, will pass. This perspective fosters a sense of detachment, which ironically can lead to deeper appreciation. You appreciate the good while it's here, knowing it won't last forever, and you bear the bad, knowing it too is temporary. By consistently applying these Stoic principles, you develop a profound sense of inner strength. You learn that your true power lies not in controlling the world, but in controlling yourself. And that, my friends, is the ultimate form of resilience. Finally, and perhaps most profoundly, Stoicism isn't just about surviving. It's about finding meaning and purpose in your life. In a world that often feels adrift, Stoicism offers a compass. Remember that first core principle. Virtue is the only good. This isn't just about personal character. It's about aligning your life with something greater than fleeting pleasures or material gain. Living in accordance with nature. For the Stoics, nature wasn't just trees and rivers. It was human nature, our capacity for reason, for community, for contributing to the common good. Living virtuously means living in alignment with this higher, rational aspect of ourselves. It means using our reason to understand the world, our justice to treat others well, our courage to face challenges, and our temperance to live wisely, contributing to the common good. Stoicism is not a selfish philosophy. It's deeply communal. The Stoics believed in the concept of cosmopolitanism, the idea that we are all citizens of the world, interconnected, and that our purpose involves contributing to the well-being of humanity. By cultivating virtue, you naturally become a better parent, friend, colleague, citizen. You contribute positively to the lives around you. This outward focus, paradoxically, brings immense inner satisfaction. When you live a life that benefits others, you discover a profound sense of purpose that external achievements alone can never provide. The inner scorecard. Irvine talks about the inner scorecard. Instead of measuring your success by external metrics, how much money, how many accolades, you measure it by how well you lived according to your own values and virtues. Did you act with integrity? Did you show kindness? Did you give your best effort? When your inner scorecard is looking good, you have a deep sense of accomplishment and meaning, regardless of external circumstances. This is where true fulfillment lies. By choosing to cultivate virtue, by actively engaging in practices that build self-control and gratitude, And by focusing your energy on what truly matters, you naturally begin to discover a deep wellspring of meaning and purpose. It's not something you find out there, it's something you build day by day, decision by decision, within yourself. And that, my friends, is the good life. Conclusion: living the good life. So, here we are at the end of our Stoic journey. We've covered a lot of ground, from the ancient wisdom of the Stoics to William B. Irvine's incredible practical guide. And if there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's this. The good life isn't about chasing fleeting pleasures or accumulating material possessions. It's not about being immune to pain or emotion. It's about something far more profound, far more lasting, and far more within your grasp. It's about living in accordance with virtue. It's about showing up as the best version of yourself every single day, regardless of what life throws at you. It's about cultivating that inner strength, that calm, that resilience, that deep sense of purpose that can withstand any storm. By embracing Stoicism's practical wisdom, you gain a powerful toolkit. You learn to manage stress and anxiety, not by avoiding them, but by understanding your control over your reactions. You build unbreakable resilience, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. And most importantly, you find a profound sense of meaning and purpose, not in external validation, but in the cultivation of your own character and your contribution to the world. This isn't a quick fix, a magic pill. Stoicism is a philosophy for life, a continuous practice, a journey of self-mastery and self-improvement. Some days you'll nail it, and other days you'll stumble. And that's perfectly okay. The Stoics would tell you that the effort, the intention, the commitment to trying to live virtuously, that's what truly matters. So where do you go from here? My biggest encouragement is to take the first step today. Pick one principle that resonated with you the most. Maybe it's trying the morning or evening reflection. Maybe it's focusing on what you can control for the next 24 hours. Maybe it's starting a simple gratitude practice. Or perhaps dive deeper into William B. Irvine's A Guide to the Good Life. It's truly a transformative read. The path to the good life, the Stoic path, is waiting for you. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about choosing inner peace over external chaos. It's about building a life that feels authentic, meaningful, and deeply fulfilling. You have the power to shape your inner world, and in doing so, you can transform your entire experience of life. So, what are you waiting for? Start your Stoic journey today. Your future, calmer, happier self will thank you. If you found this dive into Stoicism helpful, give us a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who might need this wisdom. And if you're hungry for more practical philosophy and ways to level up your life, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. We love hearing your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let us know your favorite Stoic principle or how you're putting these ideas into practice. Until next time, stay wise, stay calm, and keep living your best, most Stoic life.